Hey everybody, it's Mom to Wife of One, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you're new here. If you are new here, hello, welcome. I am a influencer, I'm a content creator, I'm a mommy, I'm a wife, I'm a writer, I'm an editor. I love all things communications. And one thing that I absolutely love to do is watch documentaries. And I love to watch the documentaries because I'm interested and fascinated by people's lives. Some of the documentaries are on famous people, some of them are just about something tragic that's happened, unfortunately. But I like to watch them and then I like to recommend them to people who also like documentaries. And because these documentaries bring up so many, just so many different feelings, right? And so many different themes. And I just find it fascinating. And I think it makes for a really great conversation. So this video is going to be to recommend a documentary that I just finished watching on Netflix called Tell Me Who I Am. Now, don't get this confused with the documentary Tell Them You Love Me. That one is a completely different documentary. I haven't seen it, but just based off of what I've heard about it, I know it's a little too dark and twisted even for me. If you want to watch that one, feel free to Google what that's about, but I won't be talking about that one on this channel. But Tell Me Who I Am is what I do want to talk about. Before I do, make sure you like this video, share this video with whoever likes documentaries as well. Comment below if there are any documentaries or anything on Netflix that you recommend that I watch. I love watching new things, whether it's a new TV show, documentary, a movie. Definitely comment below. And yeah, make sure you also subscribe to my channel. Now, Tell Me Who I Am is a story about two twin brothers named Alex and Marcus. They are now, I want to say, this documentary came out in 2019 when they were 54. So they are now, assuming they're both alive, they are 59 years old at this point today. When Alex was 18 years old, he got in a really bad motorcycle accident and he lost his memory. I mean, everything. When he came to, the only person that he recognized was his twin brother, Marcus. And there was another woman in the room who was like, hey, sweetie, do you know who I am? And Alex looking at Marcus like, who is this woman? And Marcus like, oh, that's her mom. So I was like, okay. So since Marcus is the only person he recognizes, he's leaning heavily on Marcus to fill in the blanks. So not only is he asking him, okay, tell me who this person is, who's that person is, he also has to relearn things like tying his shoe and riding a bike. Becomes almost solely, not want to say becomes solely dependent on his brother, but kind of solely dependent on his brother to help him pick up the pieces and kind of figure out what kind of life is like on his own. So in addition to learning how to do these things and kind of remembering the faces of his girlfriend and his friends, he's asking Marcus about his childhood because literally all this stuff is wiped from his memory. So Marcus is like, oh yeah, we went on vacations a lot. We went to the beach in France. Here's a picture of us on the beach right here. We did a lot of stuff. And Alice was like, oh, okay, well, tell me about mom, tell me about dad. He's like, well, they worked hard and, they did what they had to do to take care of us. And, that's pretty much it. And Alice was like, okay, cool. So fast forward almost 20 years later, I want to say they're in their 30s and their mother passes away. They go to her house to clean up her stuff, as one does when someone passes away. You go to clean out their house. And in one of the closets, Alex finds a bunch of sex toys. And he's like, what is this about? Mark's like, oh man, don't worry about that. I think that was a mistake, or those aren't really sex toys. Make some kind of flimsy excuse and just kind of brushed it off. So Alice is like, okay. So he keeps looking and then he finds a picture. Clearly a picture of him and his brother Marcus when they are younger. They are naked in the picture and their heads are cut off in the picture. And he's like, okay, the sex toys, maybe I could ignore this picture. This is a lot. So finally he asked Marcus, did our mother ever molest us? And Marcus, looking shameful, just shook his head, yes, and then never talked to him about it again. So the documentary is basically following this fresh revelation and learning what really happened. And it's also about how Alex, I think for a long time, I don't know how long of a time, basically he stopped talking to Marcus for a little minute because Marcus created this whole idyllic childhood that everything was great, our parents were great, your life was wonderful, my life was wonderful. So Alex harbors some resentment to his twin brother Marcus for creating this false idea of their childhood. But Marcus' thing is, you had the privilege of forgetting what our mother did to us from the age of 11 to the age of 14. You have the privilege of forgetting. I don't have that privilege. So, in creating this new childhood for you, I'm allowing you the chance to kind of start over. I'm also giving myself a chance to imagine the childhood that I should have had. So, the documentary follows that. And then It's kind of split up into three parts. The end of the documentary, Marcus and Alex sit across from each other at the age of 54 to really hash things out. But even at age 54, Marcus still could not say the words to Alex's face of exactly what his mother did to him. So he let the documentarian interview him in a separate room, and he just left Alex with the recording. Was like, look, I can't watch you watch this, and I can't say this to your face, but you can look at this video. I explained everything that mom did to us. I have to leave the room. And obviously, there's a lot of tears and everything. And it just got me thinking, is it better to live with a lie, or is it better to have to live with the truth? And I completely understand Marcus's perspective of wanting to shield his, not even shield his brother, but seeing this almost as a gift. Like, wow, you get a chance to really relive, re, to forget what happens. Unfortunately for Marcus, he still has to live with all that stuff and live with this anger that he had toward his mom and everything. But I understand from his standpoint of who wants to tell your twin brother who is woken up from a coma, who has no idea of what has happened in the 18 years prior to his life, who wants to be the one to tell him, by the way, we were molested by our mother and we were part of a child sex ring for 3 years of our life. Why would you want to put those memories back in somebody's head? And I guess I kind of understand Alex's standpoint because he's like, I feel like not fulfilled because I don't know the whole truth. And eventually, like he gets married and has kids, but he still feels like a piece is missing. Like basically telling Marcus, like, you created this for me. I didn't get to have this for myself, and you kind of robbed me of the chance to really know who I am. And so I guess I kind of understand, but I don't know. I feel like I'm siding more with Marcus on this one. Because again, like that's the truth, but what does that do for you now? Your mother is dead at this point, and at this point, she's been dead for over 20 years. You can't confront your mother. You can't get any closure there whatsoever. So, is this really giving you closure that you know exactly what she did to you? I don't know. Obviously, I can't answer that for him, but I don't know how much good it actually did. But, I would say for me personally, I'm a sucker for seeing men cry. And these are men from, I forgot to mention, they're from the United Kingdom. So these are British men. British people are traditionally known for being pretty stoic, not showing a lot of emotion, definitely not crying. So seeing these grown men just weep and hug each other was like, it was gut wrenching. But again, I think it brought up just good conversation about the price of lying and the benefits of lying and when you should and shouldn't lie, I guess. And then, don't even start on the whole mother piece. My friend and I have this discussion all the time. When we think about people in the world or in our lives who do reprehensible things, unforgivable acts, I used to say, I don't understand. How can someone do this? But what were they thinking when they did this? For this mother to have given birth to these two boys and decided for herself at 11 years old, I am going to start touching them. I'm going to molest them. I'm going to have them molest each other. I'm going to take them around to other grown men so that other grown men can molest and touch them and do whatever. Like, I won't say obviously. I'm assuming that these thoughts were in her head before she ever had children when it came to looking at children sexually. So if those thoughts are already in your head, why would you ever have children of your own? I but like I said, I have this discussion with my friend all the time. When things like this happen, I'm not supposed to understand. Because if I'm able in any way to rationalize her thought process or rationalize whatever she did, that makes me as sick as she is. So I don't get it. As a mother myself, I that makes no sense to me. Sexualizing children, period, makes absolutely no sense to me. But as a mother, not only are you sexualizing children, but you're able to sexualize your own children. That's so weird to me. And then let's say she was still alive when they found this stuff out. Confronting her seems like what a therapist would recommend that Alex and Marcus do to get closure for themselves. And the one thing about closure is that you have to be okay with knowing that you may not get what you need from the other person. It's about you saying everything that's on your chest, everything that's on your heart, everything that's in your head, just kind of getting it out in the atmosphere so you're no longer being choked by those words that aren't coming out. but you have to be comfortable enough and okay with the idea that whatever you say to this person, that does not mean you're going to get an apology. That does not mean you're going to get repentance. That doesn't really mean anything. They could still, deny everything that happened, or they could have the attitude with you, whatever the case may be. And knowing that that could be the reaction to me pouring my heart out, I don't know if I'd be able to do it. I feel like maybe if I'm pushed, like if I'm around this person, whether it's a mother figure, father figure, whatever, and they say something to me the wrong way that triggers that memory of what I know they did, then I may have that confrontation and say something to them. I don't think that I would be like, you know what, I need to have this talk with you. Let's have an intervention. Let me tell you what I know. Let me tell you how I feel. I don't know if I'd do that. I feel like I would have to be triggered in that moment, and then it would just have to, the floodgates would just open. I don't think it can be planned for me to do that. Fortunately, I have not had to do that, but again, like, I don't know. I don't know if it'd be enough for me just to say what I feel if I know that you could look at me with like the dumb look or the blank face with no remorse whatsoever. Like, I feel like that would make me angrier. I don't know if I'd feel worse about it, but I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know if Alex and Marcus would have even had that conversation with their mother. I feel like Alex may have, with him having the first 18 years of his life erased from his brain. I feel like he would have seen his mother not really as his mom, but as someone that he's only known for like 15, 20 years at this point. So I feel like maybe he would have done it, and I think he would have done it for himself and for Marcus. I feel like Marcus had all this time to confront his mother, and I don't think he ever did. I don't remember that being mentioned in the documentary. So I feel like Alex would have been the one to, on behalf of himself and Marcus, would have been the one to talk to his mother and be like, "Hey, look, what you did was effed up. We don't appreciate it. What the heck were you thinking?" Like, I feel like Alex would have been able to do that. And knowing this information, does he feel fulfilled? Does he feel like, okay, I know who I am now? But is that really who you are? That's something that happened to you. I don't think that's something that defines who you are, especially because it happened so long ago, and especially because you didn't even know about it until you were a grown person. So I don't know how much good it did to really have that conversation, but I guess he deserved to know. I don't know. I thought it was a very interesting documentary. I liked the way it was shot. They had some old school pictures in there, not old school, but they had family pictures in there. And the way they did the documentary with Alex and Marcus, they would have Alex in one shot by himself, Marcus by himself. And it wasn't until the end of the documentary that you had them both sitting across the table from each other, having a heart to heart conversation about what happened. I can't talk about it. I'm so hurt. I feel like this. And I'm sure that this experience has brought them closer together. I'm sure that it's allowed them to really appreciate the love and just respect that they have for each other. Their father was in the picture, and the one thing that I heard was that just their dad was just not a nice guy, but they don't think that he necessarily knew about what was going on. And I always ask the question, I'm sure we all ask when we hear about that, how the heck did the father not know? But you know, maybe back in that day, because at this point, Alex was 18 in 1982. So that means he was born in what, 1960 something? I can't do math. I should be able to do 1964? I think that's right. We'll say it's right. So he was born in 1964. And, who knows? Maybe he's one of those dads that, worked a lot, came home, didn't really mind the kids, said hi to them, fussed at them, and then went to sleep. So if that's the kind of dad that he was, then I guess what kind of makes sense that he didn't know what his wife was doing. But it was interesting. Like I said, I'm drawn to documentaries that just tell like the personal story, and especially for people that I don't know. These aren't famous people. They wrote a book about their experience, and that's what the Netflix documentary is based off of, the book of the same name, Tell Me Who I Am. But it was, yeah, it was heartbreaking to watch. But again, I think that some good conversation can come about from watching it. So I say watch it. It's on Netflix. If I had to rate it, I don't know. I feel like it's hard to rate a documentary. I can tell when this documentary sucks. I can't tell that. For this one, because the subject matter, I can't say, oh my gosh, it was an amazing documentary. I don't know if amazing is a word that I would use, but I do think that if you are interested in in family relationships. If you're someone who likes to read books about family relationships, family traumas, I think that this would be a good documentary for you to watch. So that's my recommendation. If I come across any other documentaries, I'm actually watching one now that's not really that great, so I'm not going to recommend it. But if I come across any other ones, I'll definitely do another video for you guys. But yeah, thanks so much for watching this video. Remember to like this video, share it with whoever likes documentaries or who just wants to find something new to watch on Netflix. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and make sure you comment below with whatever else I should be watching. So hope you guys have a great evening. Peace.